Hello, and thank you for tuning in. This is a presentation for the Third Asian Conference on Language Learning, ACLL 2013, entitled The Interaction of L2 Teachers, Culturally Resonant Ideologies of Language and Teaching, and L2 Policy Interpretation, a Narrative Analysis. I am T. Andres Deas. I'm a PhD candidate in Education, Curriculum Instruction at the University of California, Riverside. This article is concerned with the ways teachers' ideologies about language and education shape their interpretations of formal written curriculum guidelines. I examine how these processes occur in the English department of the Najib Boys High School, a small local secondary school in the UAE, undergoing massive reform as it transitions to the use of English in all core subjects, save social studies, Arabic language, and religious studies. Teachers' ideologies are important to investigate as these beliefs shape teachers' interpretations of official curriculum guidelines. These interpretations include teachers' past experiences, beliefs about the role and positioning of language in the world, and beliefs about the needs of students and the nature of education. Like Withenow, and I'm going to quote Withenow here, I regard ideologies as, quote, sets of statements that actually exist now or in the past, end quote. As utterances and behaviors, ideologies occur and are stated in the presence of other social actors. They subsequently influence and are influenced by these relationships. Relationships which are themselves characterized by power relations in the larger social environment. Drawing on Swidler and Bourdieu, I conceptualize ideological statements as strategic, as they represent the interested activity of actors who may or may not be cognizant of these power relationships. As an example, when teachers interpret their school's curriculum, those documents and statements representing the mandates of the state concerning the nature and activity of education in public schools, they do so within the context of their immediate and long-term interests related to their individual beliefs. However, through these interpretations, teachers, perhaps unknowingly, function as policy actors, in that they appropriate the curriculum for their own purposes, sometimes changing it or even constructing it anew in the process. The present study also contributes to Bourdieu's theory of practice, particularly how it relates to the social reproduction of linguistic value through education, by complicating our understanding of the school as a formal institution. Bourdieu posits that the mechanism of symbolic domination of one linguistic variety over another requires that the linguistic market be unified, and he locates this unified market within schools as formal institutions. However, factors such as notions of group solidarity and economic advantage have been shown to trump the influence of institutionalization in determining language prestige. Woolard, for example, shows that although Castilian had enjoyed 40 years of full institutional domination in Spain under the Franco regime, Catalan still retained a high amount of prestige among speakers of both Castilian and Catalan. She suggests that language prestige is more determined by quote, face-to-face encounters, end quote, than it is by schools or other formal institutions. What roles, then, does the teacher as an interpreter of official doctrine play in these processes? How do teachers' beliefs about language education and their students impact these interpretations? And how do these interpretations play out in schools and classrooms? The current research seeks answers to these questions. Turning to the specific case of Abu Dhabi. To achieve sustained economic growth through the diversification of its economy, the Emirate of Abu Dhabi in the UAE has started a massive educational reform program. Today, 59% of the current GDP of Abu Dhabi consists of the production of oil. The Emirate wants to lower this number by 2030 to 36%, and it plans to do this by the diversification of its economy. This means that by 2030, the UAE wants to have 64% of its GDP consist of other industries like pharmaceuticals, tourism, education, media, and telecommunications. In order to achieve these goals, the Emirate believes it must focus on critical thinking and communication skills in education. They have thus launched the reform program across the Emirate called the New School Model Program. The reform has three aspects. 1. Transitioning from teacher-centered rote memorization methods to student-centered and critical thinking methods. 2. Emphasizing the English language in all subjects save Arabic language and Islamic studies, and social studies, actually. And 3. Hiring contracted licensed teachers from native English-speaking countries assigned to each school who will work alongside bilingual in Arabic and English teachers from Arabic-speaking countries to implement the new curriculum created by the Abu Dhabi Education Council. The program is implemented in stages and will be fully implemented by 2030. The English department at Najad, the small suburban high school where the study takes place, consists of 4 American teachers, 2 bilingual native Arabic-speaking teachers, and an Irish teacher. My research indicates that in their narratives, the American teachers at Najad describe the teacher metaphorically as an enthusiastic, motivational speaker. The teacher's role is to motivate students to work hard towards the goals of self-reliance and future economic success. However, the Arab teachers and the Irish teacher constructed the teacher as a familial role model. Through this construction, the teacher's role included motivating students to love themselves, the subject, and the teacher, goals which were manifested through building close relationships with students and taking care of their individual needs. I also found that these constructions mediate and are mediated by the unresolved tension between 2 ideological discourses concerning the purpose and value of English and Arabic in the world. All of the teachers assigned to English the role of instrumental or economic value. Likewise, they assigned Arabic as a cultural marker, lacking economic value. I also examined the ideological narratives in the New School model curriculum itself. These ideologies are shaped by an economic vision where Emirati students emerge from college ready to compete in the global economy, while at the same time maintaining a strong sense of cultural identity. The New School model curriculum describes these goals as separate but equal, and like the English teachers at Najah, it views English as representative of the former goal and Arabic of the latter. I found that the teachers at Najah often mirrored each other in their practical implementation of the curriculum. That is, they often took the same approaches. However, the teachers described their behaviors differently through culturally resonant ideologies about language and education. For instance, both an American and an Arab teacher, arguing that the curriculum was too advanced for their students, created alternate tasks and aims to replace those in the official curriculum. Or in Nesbor's terms, they, quote, layered some supplementary system of goals and aims over the course content, end quote. Each teacher explained this behavior differently. The American teacher argued that as the curriculum was too difficult for his students, he would be doing them a disservice by not giving them the basic English skills they would need for their future success. Conversely, the Arab teacher explained that as the curriculum was too advanced for his students, it was not meeting their needs to feel confident in their English ability. The present study reveals in detail that schemas or cognitive systems interact with language ideologies in important ways. It also illustrates the importance of anchored or taken for granted metaphors to the study of these complex interactions. Although many scholars have examined language ideologies in terms of anchored metaphors metadiscursively revealed, that is, through language about language, few scholars have approached the relationship between metadiscursive language ideologies and complex cognitive systems, again, schemas, concerned with specific modes of human activities such as education. That teachers held shared cognitive understandings of education and that these understandings reciprocally mediated their language ideologies underscores the salience of these relationships and their potential to complicate our understanding of the teacher's relationship to the formal written curriculum. This study also contributes to our understanding of how to further cross-cultural discourse necessary for L2 instruction, an instruction made pertinent by globalization and the increasing phenomenon of the migrant native English-speaking teacher. Well, thank you so much, and I appreciate your attention. Goodbye.